era over at Dodger Stadium. San Diego leapfrogs Los Angeles. The Padres win the division. You look at the Padre batting order, the Fab Four at the top of the batting order. You look at the Padres, they won 93 total games last year, forging their way into the playoffs, what they did in the first round, etc. 93 wins, and now they add a healthy Fernando Tatis, who's had a good 2.5 weeks in the Cactus League, and you add Xander Bogaerts. Your front end of the rotation looks pretty solid, even though Joe Musgrove is nicked up. Front of the rotation looks solid. The back end of the bullpen might be the deepest in all of Major League Baseball. They got a few guys nicked, obviously. Robert Suarez is not going to start the season. He's on IL for a couple of weeks. Adrian Morion is on IL. But Darvish will be ready inside of 4 or 5 days. Nick Martinez has had a really good spring, so there's innings there. You got Blake Snell. Will he harness it? Will he be great from the get-go? Can he give you a whole season rather than a half of the season? I think the Padres are right there. I like the makeup of their bench. Those are all proven dogs. The Matt Carpenters and the Nelson Cruzes that just like to play. So I think top to bottom, everyday lineup to the pitching staffs, I think it's good. If they don't win 100 games, I'll really be disappointed. Now, keep in mind, something's changed. I don't think the division is all that great. And you're not going to play the enemy in San Francisco, Colorado, and Arizona 19 times each. So there's not as many, quote, guaranteed wins, because with the balanced schedule, you go play everybody in the National League and you play everybody in the American League. So you're gonna get a taste of what's gone on in the American League East. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge. But I just think the Padres win the division. Dodger era is over, at least for 1 year. We've talked extensively in the offseason, John. Dodger baseball, 11 veterans are gone. And those are cornerstone guys who really contributed, led by Justin Turner. And then obviously Cody Bellinger. Trey Turner has vacated and gone to Philadelphia. I think the Dodgers take a step back for at least 1 calendar year. Now, that being said, Julio Urias, outstanding star. I mean, maybe the best left-hander in Major League Baseball right now. Kershaw has stayed healthy, has had a good spring. The wild card, I think, is Noah Syndergaard. If he can be what he used to be with the Mets, and so far he had a good spring, now suddenly you're really 3 deep in the rotation. Then they've got 5 young pitchers who look like they're ready to take the step. Ryan Pepio from Oklahoma City is in the rotation. Michael Grove is waiting for a phone call. He'll come back from AAA pretty doggone quickly. The bullpen's different because there's no Kenley Jansen anymore, but they think the guy they're calling Bazooka, Gratterall, Druzdar Gratterall, nicknamed Bazooka, is about ready to take the next step forward. He was throwing 102 in spring training. It might well be closer by committee. They did rent J.D. Martinez. They went in the marketplace. They got David Peralta. Those might be one-hit wonders. Can they be what they used to be? I don't know. The Dodgers seem to think that they're going to be okay, but this is not going to be a 111-win team like it was last season. San Francisco is trying to reinvent what 2021 was. 2022 is really substandard. Guys who did well in 2021 when they won 100-plus games didn't do well. Some guys left. More guys have left this offseason. It's really a different roster. I just don't know that they can reinvent that one magical season they had in 2021 in San Francisco. And they've got a lot of mileage on that team. And I think that's, do you really think the Mitch Hanigers and the Michael Confortos of the world are going to put you back into a pennant race in San Francisco? Nah, I don't think so. They've kind of let that thing slip. And they're one of the most profitable teams in Major League Baseball. Forbes just had a report of the valuation of all the teams. San Francisco made $79 million in profit last season. Wow. But yet they've stood on the sidelines and not signed guys. Now they were in on Correa and then they backed away there. So I just don't think San Francisco is anywhere near what it was that one unique season they had. Team to keep an eye on would be Arizona. And it's kind of been miserable there at Chase Field. but they've developed a lot through the farm system. They think right now they have the best young ball player in Major League Baseball is kid outfielder Corbin Carroll. And they still got Kelte Marte, who they really like. I think Arizona's a team that you need to keep an eye on. Christian Walker, the power hitting catcher, a lot of young arms. They still got Madison Bumgarner. They're kind of stuck with that contract. He's no longer what he used to be, but they're relying on young kids to take that next step up and probably have a good season. And then you got Colorado. They got Chris Bryant, they got Charlie Blackmon, and they got Bud Black, and that's all they have. And shame on that ownership, because that ownership has cheapened the value of the franchise. At one point, John, people forget this, they drew 4 million fans to Coors Field way back.
Wow.
It's a great regional franchise, or franchise with great potential.
Yeah.
As a regional franchise. And they just nickel and dimed it. Their pitching's not what it used to be. And they let John Gray, the ace of the staff, go to Texas. And Kyle Freeland's there. But they just don't have enough. And it's interesting. Now you think back and you went, why would Chris Bryant go to Colorado except for the payday?
Mm-hmm.
So they signed him, but they don't have anything around him, really. And Charlie Blackmon's now an old 36. So poor Bud Black. It just, they're going to be in last place all season long, and I don't think they have anywhere near enough. I would not want to have, as we get through this opening day here on this Thursday, have to face a 162-game schedule with the Colorado Rockies starting rotation. I just don't understand the methodology of what they're doing. So I got the Padres, because the Dodger era in Los Angeles, I'm sorry, with apologies in advance, your era is over. At least it's 1 year. A year from tonight, we might be talking about Shohei Ohtani being a Los Angeles Dodger, and then that would definitely change the conversation. Thoughts?
So the Dodgers are like the Cardinals, right? They're just, they never suck. They're always like middle of the pack or really good. And I think these young guys are going to surprise us. I mean, many people are thinking they're taking a big step back, but I expect them to be very competitive throughout the year. I was shocked that the Giants didn't sign some big name. And I know they tried for Correa, but I thought Judge would have been a potential guy. But there were a lot of other big name free agents. They didn't really seem to get any of them. I mean, Conforto's been out of baseball for over a year. So what's going to happen there? I don't know. I mean, as San Diego and as a Padre fan, we're fired up about the San Diego Padres. We're excited. These guys have a loaded roster, great ownership, a tremendous bullpen, good defense. It's hard to pick against San Diego, but we got to be careful. We want to count our chickens before they hatch. But I'm still going with the Padres here as well.
Fan equals fanatical. You're allowed to be fanatical on opening day, because everybody starts with a perfect record on today, opening day in baseball. All right, before we